Furious Driving, proud to be supported by Diamond Bright, protecting, cleaning and caring for the Furious fleet and for yours, with 10% off using code FD10. Follow the links in the description below. Hello and welcome to Furious Driving, and I'm here in the barn with Sylvester the Mini, the 1969 Morris Mini-Matic, which is now in a state of severe disrepair. Now, this video will have taken a long time to get to you because I didn't want to be doing piecemeal, bit here, bit there. But what I'm doing in this video is trying to strip as much, or indeed all, of the paint, the rust, the fillet, everything off this body shell, and then present it to you as a video complete at the end. So bear with, it's going to take a little while. Now in this video I'm going to be using the equipment I got from Machine Mart to go and do this job. First of all, we've got this great big 32 litre sandblasting gubbin. And more important, we've got the behemoth itself, the massive twin motor air compressor, which is now looking a bit dusty, having had a bit of blasting going on around it. Needed a bit of clean up on that. That thing is just epic and will keep constant pressure going all day. It's fantastic. Okay, I will quickly interrupt this broadcast to say this video isn't quite as long as I'd intended, and I didn't get as far with the car as I intended. Turns out it's an awful lot more difficult to do this than I thought it was going to be. Plus, I had an awful lot going on outside of YouTube, and did have some work planned on this car, the Rover V8, which I'm sitting in right now, which didn't go to plan because the parts turned up which were wrong, and I got midway through the job, spent a while going into that, and then found I had no video. So here we go with a slightly truncated version of this mini video, which is also quite a good thing because having taken so much longer than I thought it would do, I didn't want you guys to kind of forget about the Morris Mini sitting here in the barn. There in the barn, you know what I mean. Because it's a project I'm really excited about. I really want it done. And it brings me on to the next thing. It's Rustival. Rustival 2 is happening on September the 28th back at the British Motor Museum at Gaydon, and tickets are on sale now. Incredibly, I'm recording this on Sunday morning, and tickets for VDP have already sold out. However, Mayfair, which is the same event but just 5 metres slightly over to the left, is still available. So go over to rustival.co.uk as quick as you can, because those tickets are selling ridiculously quickly, and we want you to come and be able to be part of it. And I want the Morris Mini to be part of it as well. I mean, maybe that's a bit ambitious, but it'd be so cool if we could do that. But if we don't get it done by September, we're going to lose the shop or something. Right, back to the barn. I'm back to do a bit more work on the Mini. Obviously I've got most of the engine bay cleared out now, but I want to start on some of the bigger panels. And a few people did say, why don't you use a DA on the roof, because there's less chance of warping it than with the sandblaster, because there's a strong chance of doing some damage to that panel work over there. And also, why am I doing the paint on the roof? And the fact is the roof paint it's kind of scored, it's scratched quite deeply down through the surface. So I remembered I've got this rather nice air-powered DA, which I did use on the front of the Mercedes W123 a little while ago. But with my little tiny air compressor at home, it was really hard work. It just kept cutting out after every few seconds. With the monster we've got over there, we should be able to get a lot more done a lot quicker, and I can carry on saving the sand. It's not sand. People keep saying, is it sand? It's not. It's an aluminium oxide stuff, which is better if you breathe it in, which I'm trying to avoid doing, and also it's better at clearing paint off. So anyway, I can save that because that's quite expensive, and I can crack onto the roof without risking any damage to the panel. So we can, win-win. Now this is quite interesting, going through the layers of paint on the side of the car. We call this carcheology. And what you find is the car is what looks like a very flat cellulose sandy beige on top, which then goes through to the yellow undercoat, just like an etch primer. But then we get through that and we get back to a lower level of sandy beige, and then the blue primer, and then a grey base coat, and then red oxide that the BL factory used back in 1969. So it looks like it has been repainted at some point in its past. I noticed just on the roof as well, it had beige and then yellow and then beige again. So yeah, I think the car has had a cellulose repaint at some point in its history. Now, I knew that there was filler in the bottom of this wing, in fact both of these rear wings, because I could see it was cracked down here, but I didn't know how far up it actually extended into the height of the wing, because the paint was relatively, well, not good, it was very, very flat, but it was nice and smooth. And I can see now the filler actually comes all the way up to here. It's like a third of the height of the wing is filler, so this is all going to have to come off because I don't know what's behind it. Obviously this is cracked down here, and also there's a line of filler. I'm not sure if that's a line of filler or a line of thick paint. We need to get more off here in a second.
It's happened again! This is not good!
This has proved to be far harder going than I'd anticipated. Honestly, I think I would have just paid someone to come and do it if I realised how much work it was going to be, because I'm spending an awful lot more time unjamming this thing than I am actually blasting the car. I get a couple of quick squirts and then the thing is just jammed up again. Every time it's the valve at the bottom. Someone said order a gate valve. I've tried to Google it. I can't figure out what a gate valve is, unfortunately, because that might be better. I made a mistake at first by leaving the cap on this, and it was getting damp and clogging up with damp stuff but not drying out in between sessions. I've put the additional moisture trap over on the compressor as well, which has made a difference. It has got better with that. But also the other problem I've now got is this. The tent, my hermetically sealed spray booth, is not working out at all well. It keeps on collapsing on me because I've used string and rope to kind of create the walls of it. It's just not strong enough, and the least little thing brings the whole lot tumbling down, which is very, very frustrating. And also, because this is right in the entranceway of the thing, I thought I'd be done in a day or so. All the cars are trapped. The 200 VI, that's stuck just there. That is taxed, MOT'd. I need to go and fix the window again, but that I could be using right now. The Punto is just there. That needs to go and get an MOT, but that's trapped in there as well. So at this point, I'm going to take a little break from the blasting and actually take the tent down and build a new construction area with like a wooden frame to make it all a bit tighter. And also, I'm going to tuck it into the corner where the Punto is. Now, I did consider building the little frame over in that corner where the Freelander is, but that's quite a big area, and once that's gone, that's an entire car and a bit of space is gone. Whereas if I tuck it in there, the Mini is not very big, so I can have my area cornered off and I can still use that area to store another car in. Whereas with that area, so I'm flipping back and forth a lot here, with that area only very small cars can tuck into that regularly, whereas that area can take any car, so that leaves a big space free, and that area can be the little car. It's also, I think, long enough to put the car onto the jig. Being a Mini, it's narrow, but it's long with the jig on it, so it should be okay. Okay, so only after, well, quite a lot of kerfuffleage, I now have Tent 2.0 here in the barn. So previously we had the rope strings that were tied up from front to back of the unit, and then the plastic was hanging down from that. Now we've got actual, like a shower curtain rail effectively. It's got proper wooden battens fixed across from the wall over there to the wall over there to the wall over there, and we've hung the plastic sheets from that. It's got a top on it to keep the dust in. I can actually hang these drapes down. I've got more draping to clip onto the bottom here to make sure it does go all the way to the floor, and that means I can keep the dirt in and hopefully keep the other cars clean while we're working. Right, now I'm going to do some actual work. Now, item number one on my things to do is come back to focus on this area down here, which looks like it was probably either a rust hole or a rust ding or accident damage, which is then filled with filler. And I want to get rid of this. I want to know what's behind that, and then obviously cut out and replace. And it's taking a long time to sound through, so I'm going to drill into it and see what we've got behind there. But let's see how far back this filler goes. This is actually going into that kind of side pocket beside the rear seat. It seems to be bottoming out after a couple of millimetres. That's a bit deeper. Very deep. So it is fairly deep. It's like about 5 millimetres deep of filler, which is quite a lot of filler to be taken out. It's like a topographic. There we go. I've finally got something to chisel to. Yeah. I'm going to get a hammer and chisel. Right, so let's use a suitable drift. See what we can do here. Ooh. Wow, that's coming away. Oh, I'm glad I'm clearing this up. That's rusty as anything. Well, I was expecting bad, and well, I wasn't disappointed, because that is quite nastily rusted up. I could see on the back of this panel it was a bit grotty and pugged up, but I didn't really know what to look for, what to expect, I should say. But this was really, really quite deep filler. This is, you know, going quite a lot of millimetres thick. And well, there is some good steel up here, but it looks like there is like a crease or a cut line or something with a lot of rust down there as well. Don't forget, this is about 30 years old probably, this fillering was done. So I'm not going to waste any more time hammering. I will get a repair panel and cut this out and replace this entire quarter. Well, up to about here anyway. I am really rather glad I did that hammering, because that would have taken an awful long time of DA sanding to get through that. Would never have found the bottom. Well, as I said at the beginning, this has been proving to be an awful lot more tricky than I ever expected it to be. They make it look so easy. I mean, it is very, very easy to do when it's working, but I think the problem is entirely down to moisture. The moisture traps have helped a lot. However, I think because the barn is a little bit damp inside, the media, the aluminium oxide powder blasting media, is getting damp and going into the pressure vessel damp, and so that's why it's blocking up. However, we've now had a few days of really nice hot weather, so if I go back next week sometime, hopefully, fingers very much crossed, I'll touch some wood, but that's only for mica, hopefully we're going to be able to blast more effectively. I'm also thinking if I get a heater onto the blasting device, onto the big red canister, to get that hotter so it's drying out the powder as it goes through, and also maybe bring some of the powder home and stick it in the air cupboard for a night before I use it. But the fact it's just warmer and drier in the atmosphere in general, hopefully will make a big difference. But what I'm seeing now is that yes, I definitely need those two scuttle fillet panels. Those I think are available from Heritage Repair Panels, and we're definitely going to need that side panel behind the driver's door, and also we need a bit of floor under the driver's feet. Haven't seen the passenger side yet, but I don't think that looks as bad. But you know, the paint is still on, so it's anyone's guess. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you are enjoying the mini series, because this is quite an epic build, and we've never done a car on this channel quite down to this level, taking it back to the shell, and it's a lot of work. It really is a lot of work, even with a tiny car like a Mini. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, you know the business, and we'll see you again very soon indeed. Take care.